Minasan de konnichiwa, my name is Brennan, and this is my channel, Tokyo to LA.
I'ma pull up in a festival on purpose. Hey, I'ma smoke the jetty and honey bird.
I have acquired many experiences and footage during my travels, whether it be sailing the 7 seas with my buddies, or through awesome aerial footage on the beaches of Southern California. Oh yeah, I have a passion for exotic cars too.
I keep up with Sabrina, she walked too damn fast.
So this is my life. Parties in Tokyo, good times with friends, back to LA, beautiful views.
Was that pretty strong?
Did I mention I play college football?
Swole Bros in this bitch. King Hearn.
You can catch me pretty much anywhere in the world.
Go ahead, do 360.
If you enjoyed this intro and would like to see more, check out the full version in the intro only video.
Let's do this.
You get the bag and fumble it, I get the bag and flip it and tumble it. Straight off the lot, 300 cash, can the car came with a blunt in it. Lil' mama a thot, and she got ass, that she gon' fuck up a bag. Pull up to the spot.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the square in the corner.
What's up guys, late night, Del Alma Mall. If you want anything in life, you gotta hustle for it. I'm putting in the OT right now, trying to get stuff done, and went ahead and got the secret kryptonite diffuser right here.
I got mine on Amazon. Sucker. Welcome to Gotham, alien boy. Breathe it in. After talking to the commissioner, we deemed Black Friday as Bat Friday. 2-for-1 combo. Black Friday sales, sucker. I'm so scared.
The Starbucks, so I can put in the OT time. But yeah, I was going through my hard drive, and you know, I found a lot of footage from when I was living out in Japan. I was given a good opportunity to learn more about the country, which is pretty awesome. So I was able to put myself in different scenarios. I highly recommend that you put yourself in a position where you're able to either make friends who are from the specific host country, and in my case it was Japan. In your case it could be any other country in the world, because there's more than choose from than just Nihon. But that make friends, or you know, date someone who is from that nation, and you'll be surprised at things that you'll learn. Of course, you know, there's going to be huge cultural differences, and there may be some things that books just don't cover. So that's where the benefit comes into having a significant other in your life, whether it just be a simple friendship, or you know, it may just be it might be more than just friends.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things. You're so hot, Elma. That make me. Let's talk about sex. Come on. Let's talk about sex. Do it. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
So in my case, you know, I dated a few Japanese girls while I was in Japan. I've dated girls with various types of backgrounds. I've dated girls who were hostesses. I've dated girls who, I mean, I'll just be honest, I've dated illegal immigrants. I've dated girls who are rich, girls who have money, girls who are poor. And yeah, you know, I was able to learn things from each and every one of them. Girls that have blonde hair, girls who were tall, you know, I dated all kind of girls. But I made sure that during the course of our relationships, I always learned something. That's one thing I always did do. I always took the opportunity to learn something.
But you don't have to take my word for it.
You know, it's only going to make
That's
you better as a
Omar
person,
from Reading Rainbow.
and,
He's also in Star Trek.
You become more
Yeah, I just looked at it. It was him.
Surroundings and what's going on around you. Now, that's just the girls' aspects of it. Friends as well too. I had friends with various backgrounds, but you know, people who were more like a hip hop style, and I've had people who are more, you know, focusing on education, the rich kids, plenty of those out there in Tokyo. But you know, it just, those type of relationships, it's, you know, don't be afraid to put yourself in certain scenarios where, you know, you might feel uncomfortable, but in the long run it's going to help you out. I was just talking with someone yesterday in Beverly Hills, man. This guy has a $3.4 million house, and he was just telling me, he was like, hey man, what are you up to with your life? We were just talking, and he was just like, you know, being successful out here in LA is all about connections and who you know. It's not necessarily what you know, but it's all about connections. So you know, that's something I've heard of before, but you know, it's definitely something to take note of when it's someone who's already, you know, successful. I mean, the dude has like $1 million house, like $3.4 million house, but you know, it's something you definitely want to pay attention to. You know, even if it's constructive criticism, make sure you take it. You know, stick to your plan. You're gonna run into hurdles in your life.
And when life gets tough, remember, this guy was on live TV.
Damn! There's gonna be people that tell you negative things. I would just say don't listen to them. I would be worried if people weren't telling you negative things. Then you have a problem, because you're not gonna be friends with everybody. Not everyone's gonna like you. You know what I'm saying? So there's a saying like, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't ballin', or something like that.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't poppin', you ain't poppin'. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't poppin', nigga.
Ever since I left Sesame Street, I've been getting a lot of haters because I'm poppin'.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't.
Watch me do my dance.
I'm trying to put some money in my.
That's really true. So if you don't have people that aren't hating on you, then really you're not doing anything with your life. You know what I'm saying? There should be people hating on you. That's just the process. That's what it's about. Not everyone's gonna be rooting for you for your success. And your closest friend, you better watch those guys. Those might be a snake in the grass.
Lukai.
Damn!
In particular, I definitely do think that dating or making some type of unique friendships worldwide. Go play! Because I can just tell you right now, I have friends in almost every single country there is. You know, unless they're like in some third world country or something like that. I have friends almost everywhere because
what was that?
I'm ambitious enough to go out and introduce myself. That's something that a lot of people, I realize, are kind of lacking. So a lot of people are really intimidated to go out, especially alone, and meet people. There is kind of like a schematic to it, like especially for me, like being a black male. I mean, let's just be honest here, you know? My channel is all about being honest. You know what I'm saying? Nothing I say is really sugar-coated.
Like a Elmo cake.
And I'm being honest with you guys. Some of my stories sound crazy, but I didn't fabricate it. This is really stuff that happened, you know, while I was in Japan, stuff that happened within my life.
He lived in Tokyo for 7 years. It makes the channel unique.
But yeah, you'll be surprised. A lot of people are intimidated to making friends, and I think that that shelters them too much, you know, for their progress and their progression, you know. So it's like their whole life they're just pending.
And then nothing happens.
Japan is a pretty crazy country, and I did mention that a lot of things are not going to be covered in books. So I'd highly recommend that that getting a girlfriend is definitely the route to go. I do know of a lot of people that they went to Japan. They probably lived there for various amount of years, and they didn't have a significant others, or they didn't make a lot of Japanese friends in their life, which is pretty interesting. And there's a lot of people that didn't even speak Japanese, but they lived there for about 20 years, which is also interesting too. So just make sure you utilize your time correctly. Don't go to a foreign country and not learn anything about that foreign country, or just visit the bars and whatnot. So it's just something that a lot of people do fall into. Alright, now in reference to Japan, I was quite surprised. Well, I'd say maybe the first 2 months I was kind of surprised about how many Japanese people are really into American culture. And you know, America is just one of those countries that a lot of people want to move to, and I'm not sure if they realize like how crazy it can be if you actually move to an area like this. So most of the Japanese, they go as a tourist, but it's very different from actually like living here. And I can tell you, like, I don't mind living in both countries. Like, Japan's awesome, but the workload in Japan can be pretty hectic. Just traveling to work alone, and then, you know, me being a foreigner, it's not not frowned upon, but it's not the most easiest situation to be in if you're planning on living in Tokyo. Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend that too much. I mean, because the job field is like really specific. If you're a foreigner, a lot of people end up being like an English teacher, which is, to me, it's not bad. It's good pay, it's great experiences, but it's very what's the word? It's very generic because a lot of people end up doing it. You do need a bachelor's degree for that, but however, I'm kind of a person of like uniqueness, so I like to be a little different with my my choices with my life. But I'm not hating on anyone that actually is an English teacher. I've met plenty of English teachers who are awesome, you know, and they have their stuff together, you know, and they really enjoy the experience of being an English teacher in Japan. I'm just saying that a lot of people end up doing it, and it's just something that I'm not really too interested in that. Now for the dating aspect of it though, I was quite amazed with the cultural differences, but yet some of the women will embrace the actual cultures because, you know, they're in love with you pretty much. For dating in Japan, I was kind of surprised about how, I'm used to it now, but I was kind of surprised about how open some of the Japanese women are to doing things, and you know, things that were kind of frowned upon. It's just the cultural differences, that's all. Things that are kind of frowned upon in America are not necessarily frowned upon in Japan. I mean, you got to think about it. Japan is a country where definitely sex sells, and you know, there is a love hotel or hostess bar in like every 10 meters that you walk in Japan. Definitely in the cities, that's 100% for sure. But it's a social norm that when you were to meet somebody, 5 minutes later you guys are going to a hotel. That's a social norm in Japan. Now, there's a term for women that do that here in America.
Let's just talk about hoes. Can we talk about hoes?
But in Japan, it's so normal. It's almost like you're considered weird if you don't do it, you know? So it's just something to think about if you plan on dating a Japanese woman, or even a young Japanese girl, or any girl that's like, that associates herself with Japan itself. So it can be someone who's Korean, who's just, you know, gakusei or a student or whatever. You need to think about that because the social norm is to meet guys, and within the next 10 to 15 minutes, you know, you immediately go to a hotel. So, I mean, that type of lifestyle, I don't frown upon that, but you have to think relationship-wise, the mindset of an individual who would constantly do that for years, but then you're supposed to have a serious relationship with someone like that. You might want to think about that, you know, before really getting serious about someone who's been into that type of who's had that type of mindset, because I've seen it both ways, where some of my friends have married a Japanese woman who had a past like that, but, you know, most of the time it didn't end up too well. So, but surprisingly, a lot of the girls over there have a similar style. So I think once you know, not necessarily trial and error, but once you date a Japanese girl and then that doesn't work out, you date another Japanese girl that doesn't work out, you'll start seeing similar trends, and then, you know, you're more equipped, you're better prepared for, you know, when the shit pops off, and you know, you just know what's going on. So that's just something that girls can sense that too. You know, if you're speaking like really good Japanese, I'd say there's a time and a place for that, because you could actually deter a lot of females away from you, but then again, you could attract more females to you. It's just a time and a place. So I know for the more serious ones, speaking Japanese is great, but the ones who like aren't serious, I'd recommend don't speak anything that's too technical. Like, speak like Genki 1, like the first 3 pages, and that's about it. Don't speak anything too serious. You shouldn't be speaking like no intermediate, no what is it, N3? Nothing N3 and below. Just do like N4 and up to N5. Don't speak no crazy Japanese, because most girls aren't going to be too attracted to that. What they want is, for a Japanese girl, opposites attract. So what do they want? They want someone who is not Japanese. So you could be a foreigner, but, you know, your Japanese could be alright, but don't go in there speaking perfect Japanese. I would say 9 times out of 10, you're going to deter a lot of the Japanese women away from you. But for the most part, the ones who are more serious, looking for a someone to settle down with, yeah, they wouldn't mind. The Japanese girls that I dated when I was like, I think right when I turned 20 or something. It was right when I first moved to Japan, and it was a good experience. I can't lie, it was really cool. She spoke good English. Well, her English wasn't good. It was okay until we started like really dating. We dated for like 3 years, and her English only got better, and my Japanese got good too. But at a certain time, though, she did not like the fact that I was speaking really good Japanese. And I couldn't understand why, me just being kind of naive and whatever, but she was just like, oh, you're able to communicate more with other Japanese women, you know what I'm saying? So I guess I kind of lost my uniqueness because I was speaking the language. That's something to be, like I said, be careful about that if you were to go to Japan or maybe another country. I can't really speak on behalf of another country, but I can definitely speak on behalf of Japan. You start going there and speaking that kanji, man, be careful. Time and a place. But yeah, she was pretty cool. I think the timing of when I met her, because she didn't like black guys at all, and I had met her in Tokyo, and she was just dodging. She was dodging me for a while, like maybe like 2 weeks. But I was so consistent on trying to land a date with this girl, and come to find out we actually lived in the same area, which was kind of weird because Tokyo is about a good 50 minutes away from me. We ended up taking the same train all the way back, and yeah, I know. I was just like, how am I going to try to get this girl, I'm over here researching how to date Japanese girls, and all I could find was, hey, don't date Japanese girls. But yeah, I just took a chance with it. It worked out. Japan, some of the girls, I wouldn't even say some, I'd say a lot. From my experience, your experience might be different. This is based off of my experience, all right? I'd say a lot of women in Japan are kind of materialistic. I don't mean that in the bad way. Actually, I'm an equal opportunist. Kind of have to be, being a brother. But I'm definitely equal opportunist, but I would say from my experience that a lot of women who are Japanese tend to be a little bit more materialistic. I just think that has to do with like the culture, like high-end designer bags, shopping, what's the latest outfit. I think that's what kind of played a role. And I was making some good money in Japan, especially at a young age. I was making really good money in Japan, and in fact some people are still questioning why the hell did I leave Japan. It just, I can go back to Japan if I really wanted to. I can go back, but right now in my life, I want to be here in LA.
Love with LA, yeah. I fell in love with LA, yeah.
I haven't lived in Los Angeles, California before. I only get one life to live unless I fall off this fucking ledge.
Damn!
But I just want to make sure that I utilize every option that I had in my lifetime, and I don't want to be 50 and regret, oh man, I wonder what it would have been like if I would have played college football.
That's a nice muscly throwing on you got.
Now I know. So yeah, the relationship between me and this girl became kind of really materialistic, and yeah, I had to cut her loose because she actually was really upset that my Japanese was getting so good, and she was upset that I wasn't buying her things on a weekly basis type thing. And I was just like, damn man, I can't date this girl. I can't do it. So we seldomly stopped seeing each other, and we just cut it all off. She would pop up every now and then, but you know how that goes. Long story short though, as innocent as the girl may seem, and this is where it's like a weird flip to this story. I wasn't even sure if I should talk about this. I just popped up. But yeah, innocent girl, man. You don't let the innocent Japanese style fool you, okay? It's like an act, okay? Was it Hayu? It's like an actor, and then Joyu, I think is actress. But yeah, be careful with that. Believe me, those girls are smart. They're really smart, man. Holy crap. So this girl's so innocent, right? Or at least act like it. I'm in Roppongi one day, and this is like the Las Vegas of Tokyo, right? I'm with 2 of my friends. We're leaving at like 6 in the morning, man. We've been partying all night. So I'm walking out, and I'm like, yo, who is that girl? And granted, I haven't seen this girl. I dated her for 3 years. I haven't seen her in like maybe 8 months. And I'm just like, yo, who is that girl? And the girl keeps looking at me, right? I'm trying to make this as short as possible. She just keeps looking at me, and I'm just like, dang, who is this person? I look over, and I'm just like, is that my ex-girlfriend? Man, it was, but guess who she was with? 2 other guys leaving a club, 2 other Japanese salarymen. Now, there's a big no-no with the whole, like, Roppongi thing and leaving with guys at certain times. come on, man, don't be stupid. You know what's going on. I was like, dang. And remember, Japan's a country where it's such a social norm to just pay for things. And I just started thinking, she was really materialistic, right? I was like, damn, I bet you she's a hostess, because I did hear something about her being a hostess. I'm just like, man, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. I can't believe it. But at that time, I was like, you know what? It's whatever. I'm not like I'm talking to her anymore. But her, she ran and she hid when I seen her. I was just like, dang, man, that's unreal. I walked away, and my friend told me, he was like, bro, he said, honestly, if you spent 3 years of your life with that girl, you should go tell her something. And I was just like, you know what? You're probably right. I should. So I walked back over, and by the time I walked back over, she was already again with the 2 guys going into a cab, and then they left. And I was like, oh shit, you know? So don't let the innocent, you know, exterior fool you. Because even her, when she was with me, always, hey Brandon, let's go hotel. Hey Brandon, I want to do cosplay this time, let's go hotel. Like a lot. So I was just like, man, I don't know. It's a social norm, you know? All that stuff is a social norm. So dating a person from a particular host nation, and I highly recommend that everyone does it, you know? It'll only make you a better person. It'll make you more aware of your surrounding and what's going on around you. So not everyone in this world's going to be the same, and not everyone's going to have the same beliefs. So, and along with that, not everyone's going to think of the same consequences. A lot of the Japanese girls, they do go through phases, and it's kind of weird, because I think because Japan is so small, and then in particular it gets smaller. The girls that live in Tokyo, it gets smaller, the ones that, because you know each other, and then the ones who hang out with foreigner, it just gets smaller. It's a smaller circle. I've noticed a lot of the girls just have the same routine, and like right now, one of my friends, he's on board a ship in Japan, but they sailed over to Korea. The same girls who were dating some of my other friends over the past 7 years, it's just like a rotation. Each year they have a new boyfriend. Each year it's a new boyfriend paying for their trip to Korea to come visit them. I'm just like, damn, bro, how original is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, they must not know. Like, it's just like a constant circle, man. These girls are smart. Don't be fooled. These girls are real smart. There's girls that look particularly for guys who have a specific salary, for guys who are, you know, in their early 20s, black guy, you know, military, may not be here for a while, get married, get the visa. Girls are smart, man. They know exactly what they want, and they know how to get it. So if you were to date, you know, just make sure that you're aware. And the same thing happens with making a lot of friends in Japan. A lot of friends in Japan will know, like, yo, this dude has money, I want to be his friend. Or, yo, this dude's a foreigner, you know, I could use him to get more girls. That's just how it is in Japan. Well, during my fair time with, you know, meeting a lot of females in Japan, I do take the opportunity to ask them, hey, well, once I get to a certain level with them, I do take the opportunity to ask them, hey, what do Japanese, or how do Japanese women, you know, feel about black men in Japan? And some of their answers are just off the wall, but I've heard almost every single answer in the book, so it doesn't surprise me anymore. But the consistency is, though, that a lot of Japanese women do feel as though black men are more for, like, I don't want to make it sound mean, but I mean, this is like stuff that they've told me. They don't really think that they're really good for relationship wise and marriage. However, they feel as though that it's more of like a social status, and then having a new toy. That's what they feel as though, you know? It's just kind of weird, but I mean, that's just how it is. That's what I've been told, you know? A lot of them don't feel as though that, like, actually, like, dating and marrying, you know, guys of color is not something that they actually want to do. But during certain phases in their life, you know, when they're younger, they want to go ahead and date or mess around with a few black guys. Or even when they're older, you know, having, you know, sex with black guys, they feel as, or just foreigners in general, they think that's fine. However, getting married to one is a different story. So unless there's a huge benefit with marrying, then they're not going to really consider it. I'd say about 90% of them do see a huge benefit in marrying a foreigner or a black man, because, you know, they're going to get some kind of a visa out of it. That's something that has always come up when I was dating a girl in Japan. The discussion of a visa always popped up, and that's when I was just like, oh shit. I would say, you know, just be ambitious, and, you know, don't be afraid for things to happen. I mean, I think that's what life's all about. Just put yourself out there and see what happens. Tokyo, LA. Peace out, guys.